In the world we live in nowadays, the only vision that we truly see is through colonoscopies because that's all Hollywood has normally been involved in.
Whoa!
We actually have something that we've done a review, or maybe not a review, but we've done like a reaction trailer on our Late and Gay on Wednesday evenings. But it's for the new upcoming and the last movie that Francis Ford Coppola will be releasing. It's called Megalopolis. We all have our ideas, our takes on it, but they have recently, with the TIFF, which is Toronto Film Festival, and the main Francis FFC Pufika, that's not a slur. Slow it down. And Adam Driver have actually gone and done an interview, and this is something we want to talk about. So they talk about the death of journalism and the death of the Hollywood studio system. Death of journalism, that's already happened. Everyone's a pundit now, and that's another thing that y'all need to get through your heads is that journalism is quote objective statements. Anytime you add subjectivity into it, you are no longer a journalist. You are just a pundit. That's what we are here, and we know that because we read the dictionary and like went to school. The death of the Hollywood studio system, about damn time. How Megalopolis reception might evolve like Apocalypse Now did. Now, this is very loaded, and I'm not gonna lie, it intrigues the hell out of me because there are a lot of movies, at least if you're anywhere near my age where you grew up, it didn't do great at the box office. But those VHS sales, those rental places, like it gained a cult following later. One of my favorite horror movies of all time, Cube, Canadian film, didn't get a wide release, if it even got a release in the United States at all, and now has a cult following, so much so that they had three sequels to it, or two sequels to it. So, in this interview that they're doing with Deadline, um, both Francis Ford Coppola and Adam Driver discuss the power of films whose meaning changes in the minds of moviegoers in multiple viewings over time. That's one of the great things about it. That's actual artistry. It's about time we have more of it. He tries to compare it probably to something like Apocalypse Now, something that was fresh on the hearts and minds of people at the time it was released. They didn't really know what the themes and ideas were really about, and then by extension, the performances changed as people understood more of what the script, the filming, and all of that was going for. Now, a classic, that Heart of Darkness adaptation, wrapped in the chaotic backdrop of Vietnam, so I was saying, in its earliest showings, considered as much of a hot mess of radical ideas and imagery as what's about to come out, Megalopolis. And yeah, this is going along perfectly with what we're all kind of thinking. It's almost like what was that world? The world, the movie Cloud Atlas. A very ambitious story with visuals trying to tell so many stories at once. And is it going? You got great actors. You've got great cinematography. Is it going to hold up, and will it be looked upon later? Because it's probably not going to be a big box office draw. However, we don't know about this with Megalopolis. To me, if I'm going to pay a ticket to go see a movie in a theater, this would be one of the ones that I want to see on the big screen and not just on my computer. So far. Now, God forbid, something comes out, but he actually, Coppola said that he had Megalopolis close to a production start, but called it off after 9/11 in 2001. He's had this idea in his brain for this long, and this bodes well for me. But he called it off, but continued to shoot B-roll footage. See, now this is the part that's going to be like, it's going to get some people into trouble. He included B-roll footage of the smoldering World Trade Center wreckage. Whether or not you agree with it, I mean, obviously, a lot of people filmed that stuff, but to use it then in a movie that has nothing to do with it, or I would go so far as to say this: if he's using it in a portion, and there's a portion of that movie where they're documenting that these are the things that happened, and he has real life footage that he have shot, no issue whatsoever. It's documenting something that actually happened, a great tragedy, and I have no issue with that whatsoever. And he reveals here that some of that imagery made it into the final cut, so we are going to see it for posterity's sake. But he also said there was nothing that would bring pain to survivors in the worst attack on American soil. So he kind of just answered the little bit of speculation that I just had. Watch them address that and much more, like the death of journalism, as Coppola puts it in this interview. And we should link this in the description. But I will say one thing. I will say many things because that's kind of what I do. I am actually kind of hyped for this movie. The more that I see about it, the more I'm just like intrigued. We already know from the first teaser trailer that it looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks intriguing. It looks like something that I would want to sit down for 2.5 hours or however long the runtime ends up being and just get immersed in these characters, this world, this conglomerate of things that they have created, and especially if it's been going back 23 years when Francis Ford Coppola had that first in his brain and was trying to start production on it way back then. It bodes well. It bodes well for me, as long as his daughter is not the director. Fuck you, Godfather 3. Until then, this is Multi. I appreciate you guys checking us out, and y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time.